Yo, what's going on, people? I go by Rasta Kai, and today we're going to react to a video where it's really by psychology, and it's basically saying that there's this psychological formula that can determine or predict whether a relationship is going to last, and it has like a 94% accuracy rate or whatever. So yeah, let's check it out, see what it's about, go from there. Let's do it.
I'm Anna. I'm a clinical psychology doctorate student, and I make videos about real-world applications to psychology. So today I'm going to be talking about the findings of a researcher who can predict with 94% accuracy if a relationship is going to last or if they're going to end up breaking up. This is based on empirically validated, peer-reviewed, replicated research. So there are two parts to this formula. The first part is talking about the 4 ingredients that make for an unsuccessful relationship, one that's going to end up breaking up in the early stages. The second part is about the magic relationship ratio, which is 5-to-1, and we'll talk about that in part 2 of this.
Now this is interesting in general because it's just, I personally love the mind. I mean, if I was married and I was cheating, I would be cheating on my wife with the mind. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What kind of freak are you? It's more so just understanding the mind, like understanding people. Like that's kind of always been a part of who I am. Like even when I was a kid, I love the mind to some extent. It's other things too, film and so on and so forth, storytelling, music, blah blah blah. But the mind is a big one, so I am excited.
Video. So Gottman and Gottman are a married couple. They are psychologists and they do research on couples and they work with couples in their practice. In a 1992 study, Gottman was able to predict with 93.6% accuracy which couples were going to stay married and which were going to divorce. So what he called these factors that he used to predict divorce were the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and they are criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. So I'm going to give definitions and examples directly from Gottman's website because I find that way we don't have any misunderstandings or any inaccurate descriptions of what he means by these words. So number 1,
So just before she gets to it, criticism, contempt. I mean, it feels so terrible I mean, and she said the 4 horsemen. It sounds so scary, but it's reality for a lot of people. I've seen it in my own relationships and other people's relationships. So anyway, let's do it.
By criticism, Gottman meant stating one's complaints as a defect in the part. Don't have any misunderstandings or any inaccurate descriptions of what he means by these words. So number 1, criticism. By criticism, Gottman meant stating one's complaints as a defect in the partner's personality or giving their partner negative trait attributions. So using more global traits to define your partner negatively. The example he gave was, you always talk about yourself, you're so selfish. So that shows that they're defining their partner as globally selfish, which is not just a small criticism like you left the tap water on, something that kind of pervades their personality. Number 2 is contempt.
Yeah, so criticism in a negative tone, it's not constructive, it's demeaning, like you ain't never gonna be nothing. I hate the way you do this. Why don't you da da da. Yeah, it's almost like if somebody's doing that consistently, they're eventually going to appear to be an enemy in a way, right? If that's the type of energy that they embody, is like, this person is like against me in general, you know what I'm saying? If they're not trying to help build me and they're just tearing me down all day, I don't know if I want to go home, it, is there somewhere else I can be, somewhere where I'm not going to be criticized and uh, made to feel like I'm beneath most men, like I'm a burden to the woman or man that I'm with. I don't know. All right, number 2.
So contempt is when you make statements that come from a position of power or superiority. So this is actually the biggest predictor of divorce. If one of the partners looks down on the other partners and treats them with contempt, that is not a great sign. So an example of this is telling your partner you're an idiot, which suggests that you think you're better, you think they're worse. It could be something as subtle also as thinking that you're smarter than your partner. The third horseman of the apocalypse is
Yeah, so I mean that's another one. I mean it's similar to what I was saying earlier, but contempt, where you're like above this other person, like they're beneath you. Who wants to feel beneath you? You know, who wants to feel devalued? And I know some people are just thinking about the best way to run a home as far as some men. Um, but in my view, could be wrong. Everybody should be valued in some kind of way, right? So say you do have a traditional setup where the man is the breadwinner, which I don't know how that can happen in most cases. But the man is the breadwinner and the woman is just kind of taking care of things. Even in that scenario, when he is the king of the castle and she is like the most I hate to say submissive, but she is in her position and probably more submissive than most women today. Uh, Even if that's the case, he should still show value for her or value for what she does and how she does it, right? It shouldn't be like she's beneath him. You know what I'm saying? Like even if that might be the setup where he's dominant and she's submissive and she's like moving around him, you don't treat her like shit in my mind, right? I think things would work smoother if people are appreciated. If you get a woman that wants to be in that position, show her that you're grateful for her being in that position. You're grateful for what she does. And in turn, she will show you, hopefully, if she's, good person, will show you that she's grateful for your position. And, even if it's a 50-50, 60-40 scenario, it should still be people expressing value for one another in whatever way, that's available. Depending on what these people do, because once it's 50-50 and it's not purely a financial position, superiority, whatever, then at that point it's like, okay, so what does this person do that I don't? Or what does this person add to me or to my life or to my view or what success is? What my life should be like. What do they add, and how can I express my value for them being there? My value of them wanting to put energy in my direction. Anyway, y'all know I can talk, so just bear with me. Number 3, defensiveness.
defensiveness. So defensiveness is your partner, you're an idiot, which suggests that you think you're better, you think they're worse. It could be something as subtle also as thinking that you're smarter than your partner. The third horseman of the apocalypse is defensiveness. So defensiveness is a form of self-protection in the form of either righteous indignation, so how dare you say that about me, or innocent victimhood. So I would never do that, I have never done that in my life, that is so not me. And this is a response to warding off a perceived attack. Notice the keyword is perceived, so someone could say, for example, you left the tap water on, and they might say, I would never do that, that is so far from me, you know I love the planet. It's kind of a dumb example, but just to illustrate what it means. The example that Gottman for this
Let's
is
keep listening.
it's not my fault we're always late, it's your fault. So part of defensiveness we see is kind of turning it on the other person and shifting blame from yourself. Fourth horseman of the apocalypse.
So some of it sounds like gaslighting, which I'm so proud of myself. I've finally gotten to a point where I understand what gaslighting is. About a year ago, a friend of mine brought it up like, yeah, man, we should talk about gaslighting. I'm like, I don't even understand. I'm like, yeah, sure. If you're watching, this is why I never reached out, because I didn't fully understand it. Like, what is gaslighting? But the more research I did, I kind of came to know what gaslighting is and realized how often it was done to me in not so great or ideal situations. Um, but yeah, I mean, some people, man, uh, it's like they know they did something, but they try to push you in a direction that leads you to believe otherwise, even though you know you didn't do it yourself. So who did it? Is it the ghost of Sleepy Hollow? Johnny Depp. I think, yeah, he was in that. Johnny Depp, shout out. Yeah, the ghost of Sleepy Hollow. Did they turn the faucet on? Did they take the money out of my glove compartment, even though money shouldn't be in a glove compartment, or typically wouldn't be, I don't think. Um, it wasn't me. I don't know why you would suggest I would do such a thing. I know you saw me in bed with her, but hell, I was just rubbing lotion on her legs. What are you talking about? Stop being crazy, okay? I'm the victim here. Anyway, number 4.
Is stonewalling. Stonewalling is when you emotionally withdraw from the interaction. So it could be something as concrete as stepping away and going MIA for a couple of days, or it could be something more subtle, like giving nonverbal signs that you are not listening and that you're not emotionally reciprocating the conversation, such as not tracking with your eyes, not nodding along or shaking your head, not body mirroring. Stonewalling is kind of on a spectrum from straight up freezing someone out for a period of time to just generally not seeming like you're emotionally invested in the conversation. So the four horsemen of the
Yeah, stonewalling can suck too. I don't know that I've experienced it as much as the others, though. Um, have I done it? I don't think I've done stonewalling. Um, but I mean, it's just one of those things where if you can't come together and work on whatever the issue is, if somebody's just kind of blocking you out or whatever, then that can be a problem. Of course, in a Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation, if you're Amber Heard and you're chasing after the person because uh, you want to hit them and they don't want you to punch them in the face or push a door into their head or whatever, or shit on their bed, then that's different, right? Um, but stonewalling can be something that's it impedes progress. So I don't know. Let's see what else she has to say. I know I'm only halfway through the video.
apocalypse actually predict early divorce, so within the first 5 years. Later divorce is predicted mostly by anger and emotional withdrawal. So these are things that kind of have to fester up over time. It's not just I feel angry once. It's I feel angry about a number of things over a number of developing years. So part 2 of this video, part 2 of the formula for a successful versus unsuccessful relationship, is the golden relationship ratio, which, as I mentioned, is 5-1. What this means is that for every negative interaction that a couple has, they have 5 positive interactions. So for example, you get into a tiff with your partner about how they didn't load the dishwasher when they were supposed to. But after the little period of tension, maybe a little bit of a tiff, your partner makes you laugh. Maybe you then give him a hug. Later, maybe you give him a compliment. Maybe after that, he does you a favor, such as doing an extra chore to help out, and you kiss him thank you. So that is 5 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction. Now,
So that's an interesting one. 5 to 1. It's a very interesting ratio. I want to say I said it would be like a 75 to 25 for me personally, or maybe like an 80-20. 5 to 1 sounds so much better. I mean, who wants to uh, go through something hectic with somebody often, right? Like if it's a 3 to 2, it's like 60-40. That's too close. It's too close to 50-50, and really 75-25. If there's a better scenario, I would probably go for the better scenario. The 75 would have to be incredible. But I feel like 3 to 1 wouldn't be that bad, but 5 to 1, oh man, that's dope. Like 5 dope positive reactions to 1 negative. I mean, why would you ever leave? I don't know. Why leave? Like why just stick with that person, you know? Uh, I don't
Really,
know.
the ratio would be as large as possible. So 10 to 1 and 100 to 1 and 1,000 to 1 is better than 5 to 1. But 5 to 1 is kind of the cutoff that Gottman found for what differentiates a long-lasting relationship from one that's not going to last. So really take a look at your relationship and try to assess, are you mostly putting out fires, or do you also have a lot of really positive moments? And really try to quantify it, because sometimes in toxic relationships, we get so fixated on, well, we had that one good day. Well, no, think about how many good days compared to how many bad days. How many good moments compared to how many bad moments. So for the positive interactions, Gottman also has some recommendations for things you can do to positively interact with your partner.
Oh man, I mean, just to be honest, I mean, how many in the comment section, like how many of us have had situations that were positive, uh, and you fucked it up? I can think of at least one, right? At least one where perhaps old trauma or flawed beliefs or something kind of put me in a situation where I didn't value or I underestimated what I had in that moment with a particular woman. Um, and to be honest, I mean, it was probably like a 12 to 1 scenario, right? I mean, I don't remember us having that many negative situations. It would be here and there. It was just certain boundaries that I had, certain rules, and people say, "Oh, you were justified," but I'm like, I could have. We probably could have figured out something. I don't know. There's definitely worse people out there. Like why mess up a good thing and why not work on it a little bit? I can think of at least one scenario where I messed it up as far as like a good ratio or 5 to 1 and above. There's definitely been some other ones that have been like 2 to 1 and 3 to 1 and 1 to 1 and 1 to 12. And that's when you absolutely need to get the hell out of there. At least when it's 2 to 1, because it's no point if it's 2 to 1. Anyway, let's see what else she's got.
One thing he recommends is be interested in your partner and express this interest and make it genuine. So for example, when they come home from work, ask them about their day and genuinely listen and genuinely want to know. Something else you can do is to express affection. So this can be something physical, like holding hands, giving them a little rub on the shoulder, or it could be something verbal, like saying, "You're so beautiful, I'm so glad you're in my life," something like that. Gottman also
Yeah. I mean, kind of goes to what I was saying before. It's like express value for who you're with. Like why not show them that you care, that you value what they're doing, regardless of what position they're in. It may be a situation where, like you're, I don't know. I mean, just basically, like I was saying earlier, where one person was making more money and the other person was like a stay-at-home husband or wife, whatever. You know, it could be a situation where just even something simple like both of y'all working 50-50, but you just want to show that they're relevant to you. Like if you're not adding or trying to be a positive in somebody's life, what are you doing there? You know what I'm saying? You know, like if you care about this person and you want to make an impact on their life, then why put your energy toward the negative? You know, if that's what your instincts are to do, then maybe you should take a break and figure out some stuff. Ask yourself, why did I say that to him? Why did I do that to her? Damn, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know, it's just something to think about. Something I believe a lot of people should be thinking about. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the rest of it. There's more to the video. If you want to check it out, feel free. Yeah, if you've been in a situation that was 5 and 1, or that had a positive negative ratio of 5 to 1, and you blew it, what happened? You know, just briefly, whatever. You know, it's up to you. If you have any other comments, if you've experienced some of the 4 horsemen of terrible relationships, yeah, let me know.
So it could be something.
Yeah. Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. I don't like that. That freeze frame her. Oh man, I the only one I feel like I'm not that familiar with is stonewalling. Might need to do some research on that one. Anyway, this is a super long video. I need to be concise or something because I don't know if y'all want to listen to me for 22 minutes. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right? All right, people. Until next time. Have a good one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.